Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Monday means it's Modern Monday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and we have a super spicy list to check out today. So this is Heartless Summoning from Yakamoto Takahiro. Took it to a top 8 finish in a Japanese event, so congrats to Yakamoto on a really sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break down Heartless Summoning for Modern, if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So we've played Heartless Summoning before, but when we played Heartless Summoning, it was pretty much a combo version. We were looking to go infinite with the Heartless Summoning. This is basically a Heartless Summoning ramp deck. Instead of trying to combo off, we're using Heartless Summoning to cast really big, powerful creatures, mostly artifacts, a lot faster because of the 2 mana discount. So if you're not familiar with Heartless Summoning, it's super powerful. 2 mana, all creatures cost 2 generic mana less, which is a massive, massive discount. However, it comes with the downside, and that is your creatures are a little bit smaller. They get -1/-1, and this is kind of a deck building restriction. You can't really play Heartless Summoning with Birds of Paradise, with Noble Hierarchs, with Delver of Secrets, anything with 1 toughness because it immediately dies. So the trick is to kind of play really big things, because if you play something that's a 6/6, being a 5/5, still doesn't really make it a bad card. A 6 mana 6/6 becomes a 4 mana 5/5. That's still perfectly fine and actually even more powerful. So that's the basic idea of this deck, is to stick a Heartless Summoning or even 2 Heartless Summonings on the early turns and just start casting huge haymakers really quickly. So one of the problems with Heartless Summoning is you don't always draw your Heartless Summoning. But we have a backup plan, and that is Grand Architect. So most of our big finishers that we're looking to play really fast with Heartless Summoning are artifacts. So Grand Architect is basically a mana dork that taps for 2 mana. We can only spend it on artifacts, but that's fine because we want to be playing artifacts anyway. More importantly, it gives all of our blue creatures the ability to tap for 2 mana. And that means we get to play Treasure Mage, which not only can tutor up all of our finishers and lets us play some Silver Bullet finishers, but also taps for 2 mana. So with these cards combined, if we can go like turn 2 Heartless Summoning, turn 3 Grand Architect plus Treasure Mage, searching up a finisher, that's going to give us 6 mana, essentially, to cast anything super big, not even counting our land. So we can just immediately start dropping 8 drops, and even just tapping Grand Architect and Treasure Mage right away, we can start casting 6 drops. We tap them for 4 mana, Heartless Summoning -2, which means we get to start slamming things like Wormcoil Engine, which happens to be the perfect amount of mana for that curve. So one of the most powerful things this deck can do is play Wormcoil, Steel Hellkite, or Duplicate on turn 3 and tutor them up. So if we're worried about, one of our opponent's creatures, we can get a Duplicate. It's a removal spell. If we don't think our opponent has a Path to Exile, we can get a Wormcoil. It's going to take over the game. So we have a lot of different options. Steel Hellkite can sweep away a whole board full of like affinity stuff, other small creatures. So because we can tutor, we can play all these one-ofs that aren't great in every situation, but are really strong in some situations. Like, can you imagine Duplicate getting an opposing Emrakul? It's so insane, but if our opponent's playing all Goblin Guides, 6 mana to kill a Goblin Guide isn't really that exciting. So that's kind of the main plan. Sunray Titan is another one of Silver Bullet. We can't do the turn 3 trick because it's a little bit more mana, but it still comes down really fast, destroys a bunch of our opponent's lands. Sanctum Publis and Sharam the Hegemon are a little weird, but they are in that 6 mana slot, which we were talking about is pretty important for our deck. Also allows us to tutor them up with our Treasure Mage. Sanctum's basically a land that we can tutor up with our Treasure Mage. That's the one and only idea. So if we're a little bit mana screwed, we can search it up, cycle it, get another plains, get another island, or even a dual land. Sharam the Hegemon gets back something that died, one of our big artifacts, so if our opponent can somehow get through our Wormcoil engine, we can just reanimate it, which is a pretty powerful play. As far as the rest of our deck, we kind of move away from the big artifact plan and play some stuff that's just super sweet with our Heartless Summoning. So, Mulldrifter, another blue creature, so we can tap it for artifact mana. We can evoke it for 1 mana, 1 mana divination, essentially, if we have Heartless Summoning, and we can cast it full price and get the body left behind for only 3 mana and draw 2 cards, which is very good. Bellskite is actually free with the -2 mana from a Heartless Summoning, and it just protects our stuff. Instead of our Wormcoil engine eating that Path to Exile, Spellskite can kind of take the bullet. Phyrexian Metamorph is super sweet because it copies any of our really powerful stuff, and we can cast it for 1 mana if we're willing to pay the 2 life, and we have our Heartless Summoning. So 1 mana, copy a Wormcoil, copy another Sundering Titan, destroy all our opponent's lands, another duplicate to kill another creature, even just a Mulldrifter to draw even more cards and draw more Metamorphs to copy another Mulldrifter. Lots of sweet tricks there. Mindstone is like our backup Heartless Summoning. It's just some more ramp. We can catch it in for a card when we need to. Inquisition lets us strip something out of our opponent's hand, gives us a little more defense. And then we do have a single Mindslaver, which is kind of our backup win condition. So if our opponent has something that can keep our creatures in check, we can tutor up our Mindslaver with our Treasure Mage, use our Grand Architects, our Treasure Mage, our Mulldrifters, turn some of our artifact creatures blue maybe, to pay the Mindslaver mana. And remember, Grand Architect, you can use the mana not only for casting artifacts, but for activating their abilities, and then we can get it back with Academy Ruin. So almost like you see some Tron decks go through the Mindslaver lock, where you just Mindslaver every turn, we can actually do that as well, and even tutor it up with our Treasure Mage. The rest of the mana base, we get some fetch lands, we get some shock lands, a couple more duels in Darkslace Shores, and some basics. And then we also have a Teleria West, which probably looks weird. We didn't have a single good Teleria West target in our deck. Yes, it can get our Academy Ruins, which is nice if we have Mindslaver, but the bigger deal is it lets us kind of silver bullet stuff from our sideboard. So we have a Claw of Grix, which can gain us a bit of life, Engineered Explosives for removal, Tormod Script for graveyard, all tutorable by our Teleria West. And in keeping with the tutor theme, we get a Trinket Mage, which can get 1 converted mana cost artifacts, which gives us Executioner's Capsule to kill something, Grafdigger's Cage for graveyards, collected companies, and a Pithing Needle. The rest of the sideboard, Spreading Seas, great against Tron decks, Dismember for some removal, and then a couple of Treasure Mage targets as well. Platinum Angel, if our opponent doesn't have removal, can be amazing, very good against some combo-ish decks if we can get it down quick, like Storm or something like that, can really give them problems or ad nauseum. And then Spine of Isha for some more repeatable removal, and that is Heartless Summoning for Modern. And that's our instant deck tech for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.